Closest I've come to my match is when I linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Look, careful now.
Oh, my good
Your head's
man.
grown more swollen
Drink,
than
you
saffrons,
please.
I dare say.
Please do keep shouting in my ear. Stop right there. Until you've received the captain's permission to enter, this door doesn't exist. Got it? Stop right there. Until you've received the captain's permission to enter, this door doesn't exist. Got it?
Oh, my good man. Drink, if you please.
Please do keep shouting
Ever
in my
had the
ear.
fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge?
Fortune? Ha! He should be so lucky as to be defeated
It's you.
by
Just the person to answer a question that's been knocking around my mind since our first meeting. Now then, you must tell me, what's the best way of getting you to leave me alone on a more permanent basis? Can I tell you? I suppose I can, and I could. But why would I turn my attention away from this whiskey when Mendius right outside is simply panting with excitement about the whole affair? How curious of you to show interest in a lonesome stranger at the bar. Let me answer by saying that who I am is hardly any of your business, and anyone with an ounce of tact would have known that already.
Closest I've come to my match is when I linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Look, careful now. Your head's grown more swollen than saffrons, I dare say.
Really now, I can't afford to indulge in chit-chat with my legion of followers. Even a star needs a few moments to himself. Your interest is piqued, I see. I'd suggest you have a chat with Mendius outside. He's in charge of recruitment and other such drudgery. A word of warning, though, we only accept the best and the brightest. By the looks of you, I'm not sure you'll make the cut. Those nasty beasts are hardly worth my time, though I suppose I'll step in if none of the recruits manage to prove adept enough to handle a few skeletons. What do you mean, not familiar? You expect me to believe you've never heard of Alistair the Almighty? Why, I'm only the most famous wizard this side of the Distus, although it'd be worth checking the other side too, just in case. And don't forget, I'm the most eminent member of the Fabulous Five to boot. Surely you already know we've been voted the most influential adventurers guild by SideQuest Monthly, 3 years running.
Drink, if you please.
Please do keep shouting in my ear.
So you're just hanging around the inn, are you? Waiting for what, exactly?
I'll
I
thank
seem
you
like
to
the
leave
sort
me
who
be.
concerns myself with such things.
Oh,
You'll be
you
concerned
think you
enough
can
when you
speak
realize
that way
that
to a...
reward money
Well,
won't be
suffice to
lining
say
your
it, I've got
pockets.
my eye on you, Baron.
I am a duke, potato eating peasant.
Tell me,
Any takers? Come on, you chicken!
Oh, my good man. Drink, if you
let's
please.
see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Fresh habits. Perfect for a fry-up.
Let's see.
tomatoes. Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots. So you're just hanging around the inn, are you? Waiting for what, exactly? Let us see if you can choose the finest green! You think you can speak that way to us? Well, suffice to say, I've got my eye on you there. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies I seals ever seen.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Oh, my good man. Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
So you're just hanging around the inn, are you? Waiting for what, exactly? No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
One man's trash is another man's trash.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge?
Fortune? Ha! He should be so
Oh, my
lucky
good
as to
man.
be defeated by
Drink,
Alistair
you
the
please.
Great.
They
Please
say
do
he's
keep
privy
shouting,
to ancient and
mighty.
arcane secrets.
Glorious to see you once more, fair friend. I hope you've given some thought to my revelation. I think only of your eternal soul, after all. What's in a name, dear friend? For we all begin equal in the conduit's eyes, and only through great deeds may enter into her inner ring. You mean you haven't heard? Oh, what fortune that I may share the goddess's salvation with one who has, as yet, been lost. Steel yourself, friend, for your mortal spirit could be forever transformed from this moment forth. The conduit, our link to the goddess herself, has given us a special gift, and the gift is thus. By following her instructions and becoming initiated into the one way, we can each of us live on for a span greater than the number of stars that twinkle within the goddess's right eye. She came from on high to we mortals and showed us the path to the goddess, where all living souls are naturally inclined. She showed us that injury and malady need not mark the end of life, but that through her methods we could ascend to greater life in service of the goddess. Ah, for this hallowed information, you must seek an immaculate chapel. Go north, friend, through the forest and into the town of Silverglen, where all may be revealed. There, among her followers and friends, dwells the goddess's ecstasy, her one way. Go on the path to the righteous, my friend. Forget not that the conduit has great plans for you.
They say he's privy to
Oh, my
ancient
good
and
man.
arcane secrets.
Drink, you
The likes of
please.
which I doubt you
Please do
haven't
keep shouting behind me.
You call to Ulgraf. He awaits your queries. With a simple nod, the rogue seems to say, "Shoot!" Wargraf sighs and pulls parchment parts out of his pockets. He opts for the largest one he can find and sits down, pen in hand.
When I was a kid, friends and I used to play source hunters. Neighbour's dog was the sorcerer. Good fun. One day, we saw strangers in the forest. They looked dodgy. Dark robes, big knives. Friends fled, but I followed them. They took a man into a cave, cut his throat, held him over a blue stone. Blood turned it into ruby. I warned the source hunters in the city, caught the cutthroats. Source hunters called me a hero. Bad guys were hung. I witnessed the hanging. Sorcerer spoke a spell before the trapdoor opened. I was mute, just like that. Always wanted to be a source hunter, but source hunters didn't want no mutiny order. Can't blame them. Too bad though, too bad.
Wargraf frowns and signals you to hold on for an instant. He begins to write and gives you a scrap of paper.
Not easy being mute. Can't talk and folks think you're slow in the head. No one ever gave me work, though I'm good with my hands. Was poor, got hungry, got thirsty, stole stuff. Then got greedy, became a cat burglar. Told you, I'm good with my hands. Would have done honest work with them given the chance, a long time ago. I ain't bitter about it though, like the rogue's life. Freedom, unless the law gets you. Haven't yet, too nimble, too good. Born for adventure.
The rogue smiles broadly and dramatically produces the quill in question. He holds it aloft for all to admire, then jots down the following words.
Saw a wizard once in the village up north, Hunter's Edge. Wizard had nifty things, brooms that sweep by themselves, big starviewer in the garden. Went into his house by night, found quill by spellbooks, kept it, never needed ink no more. Hands used to be black as chimney sweeps. Clean now. Clean of ink, that is, not of thievery. Man's got to eat after all.
Stop right there. Until you've received the captain's permission to enter, this door doesn't exist. Got it?
The hunters go a-stalking.
Move along.
By the needles of the million bleeder, they'll end it all in blood.
Привет.
Here I wait for thee in the dark, but the stab shall bring the light, minister to death. That is what I want of thee. My name is Eglandir Twilsalanar, elf of the house of Gandavum, the slaughtered house of Gandavum. But by the twin blades of the Shadow Vixen, I shall have my revenge. The walls of memory are stained with blood, and I would see them bloodier still. Yes, yes. Have you made the orc feel the black and biting cold center toward the gangling grip of the greedy grey? Yes, Victoria. She is the one whose heart must be held in hand. The heart around which the fingers of that hand must clench and tighten until its choking flesh bulges with blood and its beat slowly breaks. The orcs of Gazuldaga, they knew my name. Oh yes, by the bite of the roving rattler, they knew my design. And so they sought to save their last, An infant. She who was to be queen. To no avail. Oh no. Years, how many I know not. Years I searched. And now she has been found. Her name is that of a woman, her employment that of a civilized being. But by the fork of Barbara Man-Eater, she is nothing but an orc, a cyst of nature, one of a misbegotten litter dragged into life from the tumoured womb of a filthy, coarse-haired beast that was humped like a dog in the darkness of a stinking hollow. Victoria, librarian, daughter, adopted child of Cecil, Mayor of Sicile. There is bloodlust in you. I can feel it. Let it out. Set it free. Undo the last of the Kazuldagar. By the breasts of Sishara Goatsuckler, give me my revenge!
Прикольно. Что значит оригинальная озвучка? Когда прям вообще...
So you're just hanging around the inn, are you? Waiting for what, exactly?
Oh, thank you to leave me be, you old bat.
Oh, you think you can speak that way to a... Well, suffice to say it, I've got my eye on you, Baron.
I am a duke, potato-eating peasant. Ah, hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for information I don't have. I am the Duke of Ferrell. Though I suppose my name is in the mouths of enough ruthless gossipers that you've heard of me by now. It's very tragic news. I won't posture and say that the Chancellor and I were anything near allies, but I truly never wished the man harm.
Так.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Так, блин, что-то...
As many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Pay the big cheese on your brook with a wheel of the good stuff.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each. No better solution to the dolphin problem than a set of silver adders.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
See if you can choose the finest greens. Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Так, блин, надо эту... найти Викторию.
as many friends as the man with many cheeses?
Fresh haddock. Perfect for a fry-up. No better solution to the zombie problem than to set us for hours. Waiting for what?
Так, а как? Ремесло. Предметы. Так, карта. Кладбище. Так, штаб легиона. Так, а у меня это что помещается? Ладно. Так, куда-то телепортнулся, непонятно куда. Сейчас.
Steady, boys, steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up.
Подожди, там место преступления какое-то. Что происходит тут? А мне туда не попасть. Потому что мне надо разрешение.
Stop right there. Until you've received the captain's permission to enter this.
Мне капитан нужен. Аури. Сюда надо идти, да? Эсмеральда. Я понял. Чего, не ожидала, что будет другая игра? Я сам не ожидал.
Leave me be, I've a job to...
So tell me, Septimus, would your wife or sweetheart be compensated by the Legion should tragedy befall you on the battlefield?
I suppose so. But seeing that I'm neither married, engaged, or attached in any way, I've never bothered to inquire.
Polite, handsome, and single. Don't go anywhere tonight, Legionnaire. I'd be afraid alone in the dark.
Legion's greetings, Hunter. I am Septimus, 7th son in a household of 9, Legionnaires all. Me and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Sicile from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in battle against the dead. But never shall I lose heart. Long as a single Legionnaire stands, all of us remain undefeated in the eyes of the gods. So fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Rivellon, my friend. And I have traveled more extensively than migratory birds do. She stands accused of murder, but in my mind, her presumed guilt is a fallacy, and indeed a fabrication. Steadfast will I guard her. Never will I waver unless absolute proof of her culpability should be brought before me. And I hold no such proof exists. And what questions are those? This place is practically a tomb, and these Sicilians are constantly crying for our attention. There's a zombie in my garden, an orc ate my baby. My sheep is gone, oh woe is me. It never ends. I'll be grateful when our reinforcements finally arrive. Maybe they'll manage to muster the will to care. Don't even mention those rotten carcasses to me. They're the reason we've been stuck in this dead-end town for nigh on 2 bloody years. All fun and games in the beginning, but just you lose a couple of friends fighting those fiends. Get used to lousy rations and have but drink and dice for entertainment. And you'll soon come to realize that out of hundreds of cohorts the world round, yours drew the short straw.
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth. I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor, but his one and only princess just the same.
Well, what do you want to know?
Before this war left us hanging like the condemned from a tree, this was the greatest city in Andervale. My own grandfather made his fortune here. Started as a poor fisherman with nothing but a few trout to his name, and grew his meager trade into a business employing a fair piece of the local population. Of course, the company had to be liquidated as the population shrunk, and now his legacy is no more than the pole and rags he started out with. I'm telling you, a necromancer must have been at work in Sicile. Perhaps still is. How else do you explain risen dead sprouting like mushrooms in a single night? And that's not even the worst of it. No, the worst is they keep coming back. An endless legion of the dead that even the legion of the living cannot subdue. Listen, if you're going to accuse me of something, you had better find the evidence to back up your ridiculous claims. Starstone? I've never heard of such a thing. Dear Jake had a mineral collection, yes. As far as I knew, it was one of his pastimes, nothing more. Do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous? Something that may have gotten him into trouble? Oh, this is all too much. I feel like I'm drifting from nightmare into nightmare.
Так, пошли к этому... Где он тут, вот, капитан? Прям мало хп.
Thank the seven, we've secured the perimeter.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Ah, come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face, Virius. She bit me in the face.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly'll be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
I wish for you to try it, Screech woman. The beast speaks, so you've half a brain behind that feral maul, have you?
The cretin's question crossed her lips and aped an air of aptitude.
Hey, Tull, I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Virius. You'll only encourage it.
Sorry, sir.
Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
Those bolts would embarrass a bridge troll. Get to shining, recruits.
Sorry, sir.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Tull.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
Recruits, that was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
Attention! About face! To the barracks! March! Recruits, that was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
If you say it is so, then wary I will be. As the god wolf Amira commanded Threes. Win you from your wicked world, or cold company will corrupt you.
Recruits, that was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Просто шли и нашли кого-то вообще. Непонятно кого.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private? Sir, no, sir.
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Sicil, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs, you hear? I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Sicil. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into drivelling hordes of their own misshapen number. If you must. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I hadn't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming, and it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all. How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Sicil stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Sicil. We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably. I'd say they are looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be seeing flying carpets next. Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother, but he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop, understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you! Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition.
Угу. Теперь можно туда зайти.
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter. But certainly. What would you like to know? Oh, I am but a wizard, a guardian of man and beast, and indeed I am both. My body, like any other, is bound to temporal decay. But my spirit is a speck of light that shone forth from the eternal sun that is the cosmic soul. My task upon this earth is to protect the heart of nature. the very antithesis of which is the intrigue spun by demons and directors of the dead. Hence my involvement in Sicil. You see, my one desire is to witness a world in which every mother looks around her and purrs with calm contentment, for she knows that her chicks or children, her cubs or calves, will grow up without knowing the meaning of menace, the enfeeblement of fear. To my great regret, none of them purr as yet. Oh, but that's not a trick. It's a blessing. Or does it surprise you that I enjoy taking a feline guise? Such magic is a gift, Hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct, even articulate speech, perhaps humanity's greatest asset, cannot give expression to something so inextricably innate. To be out in the night, to stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness, you couldn't possibly imagine the thrill. But of course it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I couldn't brew potions or make machines without opposable thumbs, this I freely admit. Let's just say I have found a way to enjoy the best of two worlds. Oh, that'll never happen. Granted, a witch could make the polymorph permanent if she'd enchant me in my cat guise, but I'll just have to be careful around witches, won't I? I'm my own wizard, you know, and I don't intend to become anyone's familiar. By all means. Of course, I hope your investigation fares well. I can but piece together what few morsels fell from the grapevine into a rather disappointing meal, I'm afraid. They say a woman arrived in the King Crab Inn sometime after midnight. She retired to a room on the ground floor where she was soon joined by a man who had been nursing the same cup of wine for hours. I say man and woman because both of them were cloaked and recognized by none. About an hour later, another figure arrived, headed for the same room. Soon after, a terrible commotion erupted and the thundering light of magic was witnessed by the few remaining patrons. It took a while for the landlord to pluck up the courage to enter the mystery room. When finally he did, he found Jake there, dead. How and why he came to be there, no one knows. But I had a good look around the scene of the crime before the Legion barred anyone from entering. The traces of magic I felt were vile. Source, I myself have none, even though the rest of the town has already mentally tried and convicted Jake's wife, Esmeralda. Now, it may well be established that she is in fact the guilty party. I'm not claiming that I'm certain she's innocent, but let's just say that if I really thought this murder case would be so very easily resolved, I wouldn't have sent for source hunters. I can't say much more, but that they're madmen, all the more dangerous to us because of their alliance with what should be a natural enemy. You won't see me teaming up with a terrier in a hurry. And what might those be? Those who are raising the dead dwell among us. They simply must be. But even though I've spent many a night leaping from tree to rooftop, watching on as citizens stagger home from the inn or simply burn the midnight oil, I haven't spied a single soul worthy of true suspicion. The enemy is wily. They know us better than we know them, and they've found ways to avoid both detection and distrust. Yet I am somehow convinced that you may succeed where the Legion and I have failed. Call it instinct. You have a flair for understatements, Hunter. I'm sure they are but a minor nuisance in the eyes of a born warrior. But to the Legion, they are green-skinned death incarnate. Until they conclude what mischief they intend to see through, or, less likely, they are conclusively defeated, we can but bar the gates and hole up like mice while the cats are on the prowl. Oh, a mere trifle for one with the intellect of a feline and the engineering skills of a human. You basically construct a classic ballista, add a 100% legally obtained self-regenerating source of destructive magic to it, and Bobcat's your uncle. What? I'd never. If you must know, I was merely checking up on Maxine, the mayor's cat. What a delight she is. The temperament of a tiger, the grace of a leopard, and the manners of a lady all rolled into one. A perfect puss, if ever there was one.
Блин, за кошками подсматривает, смотри.
Sigurd's beard, what a find!
Я не знаю, зачем это надо. Но, наверное, надо. Крест мы не будем, ничего. Так, в общем, что-то там какая-то новая инфа появилась.
Sorry, sir.
Attention! About face! Do about it! Notch! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Welcome back to Seal Hunter. The Legion greets you.
Чё орёшь-то?
I've just got back from the realm of fairy. It was lovely, but I...
Can you spare a coin?
Так, кладбище. Так, давай на преступление сходим.
Good man. Drink, if you please.
Please do. Stop right there. Until you've received the captain's permission. Not exactly the friendliest bloke, the captain, is he? Well, your reward for getting your ear chewed off is a waltz through the town's finest magical murder scene. Enjoy.
Good as a new penny.
Читал интернет-камень.
Looking good.
А где находится? Да. Кладбище идти, что ли?
Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match one sort. Oh, fancy that.
Фиг его знает, зачем мне кость нужна.
Here lies Jared. Shall I come back as an enraged spirit or a lovable prankster ghost?
Привет. Так, что у нас это делать? Ёшки матушки, нифига себе. Хе. Нифига себе, блин, что это сейчас было? О, да ладно. Это что, все заново, что ли? Да ладно. Нифига себе. Вы что, издеваетесь, что ли? Я что-то не понял, что сохранений вообще тут нету, что ли? Ядрить, колотить. Мне что-то перехотелось играть дальше. Блять, это все заново делать, что ли?
Oh, my good man, tell me, drink if you please.
Please do keep shouting.
Challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge.
Fortune? Ah, he's so lucky this one defeated by Alistair the Great.
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend.
So you're just hanging around again, are you? Waiting for what?
Блин, ну и чё это? Чё, все получается? Поиграли? Блин, я вообще не понял, что за хрень там случилось. Как меня там всех убило-то, алло, блин. Что за бред вообще там был?
Oh, my good man, drink if you please.
Please do keep shouting.
Блин. Не, все нафиг. Хватит. Ну это бред полный какой-то вообще. Не сохранять нифига вообще.